Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be doing what has kind of become a tradition on this channel. Today we're going to be looking at Origin Form Palkia VSTAR, updated for the latest set. I did an updated version for Lost Origin, and I did a guide, a full guide, a matchup guide for the deck during the Worlds Forum, which is Sword and Shield to Pokemon Go. So I've done a lot of Palkia videos, and today we're going to be showing you my updated list heading into this new format, the addition of mainly Lugia VSTAR, which is actually a really good deck into Palkia. It has a lot of ways it can combat Palkia strategy, one-prize attackers, one-shot ability, tank ability, which are most of the things that Palkia does not like to see, is that tank ability and that one-shot ability. But we are going to be playing some new cards to help combat that, mainly going to be the Articuno. But other than Articuno, the deck largely stays the same. We have the Origin Form Palkia VSTAR. Subs plays well for 2 water energy, 60 damage, and then 20 more for each bench Pokemon both players have, which means this will be capping out at 260 damage, but in a combination of damage modifiers, such as Choice Belt. We play a copy of Leon in here, which is kind of unusual, and I'll get to why this is in the deck in a minute. Echoing Horn can also be a damage modifier, as well as Quick Shooting. We're going to have a lot of different ways to modify this damage and scale it up to almost as high as we want to take big one-shots on Pokemon V-Star, even Pokemon V-Max. Subs Baseball can reach those numbers because we have all these damage modifiers. We also have the Star Portal V-Star power that lets you attach up to 3 water energy cards from your discard pile to your water Pokemon any way you like. And this is obviously really good for powering up our attackers. We have obviously the Palkia can power itself up, which is a nice option. We can also power up Radiant Greninja, which not only is a really nice consistency engine in concealed cards, but also Moonlight Shuriken we actually power up with Star Portal, dealing 90 damage to your opponent's Pokemon. This means you can take 2 KOs on 2 Sobbles, 2 Comfies, something like that, or you could soften up Pokemon with Moonlight Shuriken as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, the concealed cards, discarding an energy card from your hand and drawing 2 cards, because it's a nice draw option in an Inteleon deck that usually does not have too much draw. Inteleon decks you usually not play too many draws, like draw consistency Pokemon, or even draw supporters for that matter. But Radiant Greninja is going to be a way that we can draw cards. And with a high count of Capacious Bucket, 3 in the deck, and 7 water energy, we're going to have no shortage of water energy to be able to discard with this concealed cards to get a couple extra cards we might want. We, of course, have the Inteleon line, which is going to be 4 Sobble, 3 Drizzile, and 1 Quick Shooting, along with 2 Shady Dealing Inteleon. And recently, I've become a really big proponent of the double Shady Dealings in the Palkia deck. I played it with 1. It just doesn't feel as good. If you have only 1 and it's in the play and you don't skip a minute, your board is a lot more liable to Roxanne. It's just sometimes really nice to have that second copy of it. Lost Box also, where you don't really want to be benching Sobbles past the turn that you have to put them down to evolve them, because Sableye will come in and sweep your board. Inteleon can be nice to have a second copy of that as well. There's just a lot of instances, but also we can actually attack with Shady Dealings Inteleon as well. Pretty decent attack. Alka Bullet dealing 120 damage, which will set up for basically a 2-shot on anything if we use it in combination with a Subspace Swell from Palkia. Deals 120 damage, and then 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. For just 2 energy, and 2 energy is not bad. We can Star Portal 1 energy to our Inteleon, and then attach return, and we can actually use Aqua Bullet. Pretty decent attack, softening things up for a Palkia KO. And even with Choice Belt can actually 2-shot things. That's actually something to keep in mind. This Aqua Bullet can actually 2-shot things if a situation ever comes up. This can actually want to KO like Crobats too in combination with Quick Shooting, and Choice Belt, and even Leon if you want. We, of course, have Manaphy, which is going to be useful for opposing Radiant Greninjas mainly. So we have the card, the Articuno, which is the, I think the one new card. This is the only new card in the deck. Now, we do have some cards in the deck that help us with other new decks, but this is the only new card in our deck. The reason we're playing the Articuno is for the Wild Freeze attack for 2 water energy, dealing 70 damage. And then you can also do 50 damage to itself, and then your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed guaranteed. Guaranteed paralysis is looking to be really good going to this format because most Lugia lists are not playing a switching card. most lists aren't playing Escape Rope. Most lists aren't playing Switch, which means Articuno can sometimes just guarantee a knockout in a Lugia, which is going to be super, super nice for you. Something you can even do with this is that you can attach Choice Belt to this Articuno Wild Freeze for 100 damage, and then if they can't do anything, then you just pass again. And then you can Wild Freeze again for another 100 damage, and if they can't do anything again, you can like boost one of those with Leon up, so then you're up to a total of 230 damage. And then Quick Shoot is going to actually finish it off. So if you go Wild Freeze for 100, Wild Freeze for 130 in combination with the Leon, and then a couple of Quick Shootings, three Quick Shootings will get you there. Something you can do instead of, because it actually does 50 damage to itself, it means you actually can't do triple Wild Freeze because it'll actually knock itself out, which you don't want. So instead you could just like do double Quick Shooting and Ice Wing, knock it out as well. That's actually an option too. So this card is here meant to counter the Lugia decks. The other card we have in the deck meant to counter Lugia is going to be Temple of Sinnoh, which turns off all special energies effects and make them provide just one colorless energy. And that combination with a Roxanne can do some really big damage to a Lugia deck if they don't draw out of the Roxanne. And I'll get to that later. I might as well just explain it now. So if you force them to find a Stadium answer off of a Roxanne 2, then if they don't find an answer, that means that all their good special energies are turned off. Aurora energy is turned off. They can't attack with Yveltal or Charizard. Vigor energy, they can't tank. Powerful Clouds energy, they can't one-shot us with Lugia. All their good special energies that would cause them to be able to one-shot you are turned off by this Temple of Sinnoh. So that in combination with Roxanne is there to try and help you versus that matchup as well. Something you can just throw out. Let's just get into the rest of the list. 4 VIP Pass, I'm a big fan of the 4 VIP Pass, rather than the like 1 VIP Pass and Capture Energy build. 3 Capacious Buckets, because Water Energy is something that we really, really want to get at least every single turn in this deck, and 3 Bucket help us do that. We can also switch them out directly with Irida. 4 copies of Cross Switcher, which is just a staple in Palkia at this point, because Irida lets you so easily use the Cross Switchers. 1 copy of Echoing Horn that can help you take extra prizes on Pokemon. You can knock them out twice to take more prize cards on them than you usually would be able to. 2 Incense, 2 Level Ball, and 2 Quick Ball as our additional search outs alongside the VIP passes. 2 Scoop of Nets, and then the stadiums. We're actually playing 3, and 3-1 of stadiums is something that hasn't really been seeing too much play in Palkia until now. But we're just playing 3 stadiums that answer different situations. Training Court helps us get back our energy, which is obviously just almost always good. Temple of Sinnoh I mentioned is good versus Lugia, but also versus Regis is pretty good too, and Regis is looking pretty popular. And then Path to the Peak, also pretty decent against Lugia. If you go first, if you can combo a Path to the Peak in combination with the Marnie, there's a pretty decent chance your opponent does not draw out of that. And if they don't find a stadium counter, then they're not using their Assemble Star, which I think is what the ability is called, to get Arceus in play. And that means they're not attacking. That means you're not one-shotting you, and that basically means you get a free attack, which is, once again, just all the Lugia matchup is usually just about taking tempo away from your opponent to try and get it to yourself to give you enough turns and attacks to win the game. Also, the thing that the Path can do is force your opponent to play a Stadium Answer, and if they play Stadium Answer to counter the Path so they can actually use their V-Star power, that means they've won the Stadium Answer to counter our Temple of Sinnoh. So that kind of plays into, like, these 2 stadiums kind of play into each other in that matchup as well. And then the supporters, at this point, pretty standard, which is going to be 4 Irida and a bunch of 1 supporters. So yeah, we have the 4 Irida. Now you get to search your deck for water Pokemon as well as an item card. This card just essentially says search your deck for any 2 cards you want in this deck, which is busted, broken, all the above. 1 copy of Leon, and this is something that is unusual about my list. I personally think Leon is really good. Lets you hit numbers on Giratina V-Star. If they are limiting their bench, it lets you hit through a V-Guard energy on a Lugia. It lets you even get through like Blissey, if that's a deck that still exists. It lets you more easily KO V-Maxes. It lets you KO like Mew V-Max, Kyurem a little bit easier. The Leon is really, really good, I think. And it just makes this deck even stronger because you have more damage output. And more damage output with this deck is better because the less damage you do, the less you're taking knockouts, and the less you're winning the game. I really like the Leon in this deck. Next, 1 copy of Marnie, and I've always, I didn't have my Marnie in my Palkia list for a really long time, and then I tried it, and this is, like, Marnie is really, really good. It's really good against a lot of stuff that does not like to be Marnied. It's good against Palkia and Mew, because those decks, sometimes you can do is you can early Marnie path them to try and cheese a game out of them. And at the end of the day, Marnie's just another solid draw supporter, so why not play it? Then we have one copy of Melanie, which attaches a water energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V, and then draw 3. This is just good so you can power up your Palkias even after you use Star Portal without having any energy on them initially. One copy of Roxanne, which is the best combat card in the game, and Palkia uses it really well because there are a lot of one-prize attackers in the deck, and Roxanne is good for that. Then we have one copy of Serena. Oh, actually, this is actually the other new card. I was saying the Articuno is the only new card. Serena is the second new card in the deck. Serena has the choose 1. Discard 3 cards in your hand, and then if you do draw cards, you have 5 cards in your hand. Or you can choose to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V with their active Pokemon. So it's either a Boss's Orders on Pokemon V or a pretty nice draw supporter, especially in an Inteleon deck where you have a lot of ways. Like you have a lot of outs to your Drizziles and a lot of ways to search cards out of your deck directly. Sometimes when you play Serena to draw cards, all you're really looking for is a single Drizzile out, finish your combo, and Serena can help you get there if you don't have any other ways to do that in your hand. But also, even though this only goes to Pokemon V, it doesn't really matter too much because we have 4 Cross Switchers, which means if we really need to guess something that is not Pokemon V, we have Cross Switchers to do that, which makes Serena even better in this deck. One copy of Big Charm, which became a staple last format. It helps you survive Giratina. This format can even help you survive Lugia now. It helps you survive Regieleki in the Regi deck. Big Charm has a lot of utility as well as just getting a big beefy Palkia can be pretty scary for a lot of decks. It's Big Charm really, really good. Then we have one copy of Choice Belt, which is pretty standard at this point. Buffing your damage is good. And then 7 water energies to round out the list. And that is going to be the list. I'm going to go play some games with it, see if we can get some decent games with this deck. And so we'll just get Orchard Form Palkia, and we'll get right into it, seeing how this deck adapts to the new format. I personally think it can adapt. I think Palkia is a deck that is going to be naturally good at adapting because it has a lot of attackers it can utilize to power up a Star Portal. But right off the bat, we do lose a coin flip. Opponent's a Metagross coin. Don't know if that means anything, but it's something worth noting. So so we're going to be going second. For going second, this is an awesome hand. We have a lot of search outs, an Irida, a Sobble to start. It's pretty much all you really want from a going second hand. As long as we don't get Marnie, we're going to have a pretty strong turn 2. Now we are up against an Arceus deck, which means that we likely are going to be getting Marnie at the hand. There's some Metal Energy, so it looks like Arceus Duraludon. Okay. Arceus Duraludon. I doubt they can actually KO a Palkia V on turn 2, because they probably don't play Zigzagoon, which means if they want to boss a Palkia V, they're going to anyway, which means we probably only need to get 1 down, 1 Palkia V into play at least, which gives us a lot of options for this Irida, which is nice. I think for this Irida, I'm actually just going to go for a classic Bucket plus Radiant Greninja. I don't know how many switches Arceus Duraludon usually play, but Articuno could become pretty useful if we use it in combination with Roxanne, so that's something to keep in mind. So our Melanie in the deck which is going to be nice. Let's get this. Allow us to draw a couple extra cards and build our hand, which likely we'll be getting Marnie away, but we at least want to make it so our opponent is forced to play the Marnie to remove our good hand. Okay, so we get another Water Energy and a Roxanne. That's not going to be too useful right now. I think I'm just going to bench this Palkia, bench this Sobble, attach, and then we can just use Keep Calling and go ahead to grab out a couple more Sobbles. Yeah. Let's go with that. Seems pretty solid. And we could get Avery, which would be pretty rough. But if the Avery, we're not getting bossed, and there's a Chorus, which means we're not getting Avery'd or bossed, which is really good news for us because we get to keep our bench around, and it activates Roxanne for us, which is going to be really nice. Okay, so this goes the Mustard as well. Is that an Arceus? Okay, so they have another one, which makes sense why they got rid of that. Most likely, I'd expect to see Starbirth here. Yep, there it is. We're not getting out 2 cards they grab, but Usually it is pretty telegraphed. Almost always they get a double turbo energy off of Starbirth if they use it on turn 2. Let's see. So yeah, there's a double turbo energy, like I said, and Duraludon event. So those are likely the 2 cards they got off of Starbirth and Citrine Nova. Okay. So I think the question here is, do I want to gust this Duraludon and get a preliminary hit into it? And I don't really want to. I think I actually want a Melanie here. Melanie seems pretty fine. I could go Marnie in combo with the what's it called? The attack, the wild freeze on the Articuno. I could even try and cross switch up to Duraludon and try and get an early knockout on that. I don't hate that at all, actually. Actually, not bad. But if they find a single switch, we're pretty much out of luck. So I think I might just go for the 2-shot on this Arceus here, or at least try and do enough damage that they at least have some damage on if they do Hyper Potion. So we're gonna go for this level ball. Grab out this. This is gonna find us a Melanie, and with this Evolution Incense in our hand, as well as an unused Greninja, we have a lot of options for what we based off what we draw off this Melanie. Let's go ahead and use this. Yep, Bones for Palkia. And there's Scoop Up Net and a Marnie and an Energy. That was a really good draw. Now we have access to concealed cards. Before we're playing the Incense, because we want maximum odds to draw into more evolutions, which we did. So we see we're getting rewarded for that play. We'll go for Evolution Incense. Grab a Palkia VSTAR. Ideally, we get down another Palkia V this turn, but if they have a boss, that would be pretty rough. That would put us into Roxanne territory, though. So if they do gust it, we can just go Roxanne and then use the VSTAR power on Articuno. So I don't hate that. I think that is pretty. I really like that play, actually. So we're just gonna use this and go ahead and find a Quick Ball. Now the thing about this play is that if they Hyper Potion us and it's attacking to us, we're fine. Our bench V is safe. If they have to use a switch and they don't burn their energy, that's good because they burn one more switch that will potentially get them out of paralysis. If they retreat, they have no more energy, which means if they don't find anything up the Roxanne and I just knock out the Duraludon after I paralyze it, we could be in a really good spot. So we'll just go use this. Do I really want Serena here? I don't think I'm going to really need Serena in this game. Cross Switchers should get me here because they don't usually bench too many Pokemon. So we'll just go for the other Palkia V. And there's nothing else we really want to play here. We can just go ahead and play Swell. For the 180 decent hits, guaranteeing the 2-shot, they don't heal. If they do heal, we still can technically get there with like Choice Belt Leon later on in the game. There's Pokegear. Let's see if this finds them. Well, it doesn't sound something. Marnie. Okay, so Marnie could potentially disrupt our plans here, but it's not, which is going to be a Colress, which means we're not getting bossed once again, and our hand is getting disrupted. Now, we do have the information that our opponent does have a hand disruption card in their hand now, which means that this Marnie could be pretty decent, especially since their hand now is really, really large. If they're going to Hyper Potion, it would be now, but it looks like they're not going to because they're just going to hit into us. Okay, so feeling pretty good about this now with this paralysis play that we potentially have coming up in combination with Roxanne. I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm going to play this, just guarantee ourselves with Palkia, especially since I do want to Marnie this turn. And we want to draw on to not this Palkia because we have the Incense now, and if we didn't play the Incense, it would just be going to the bottom. So we might as well just play it now. Marnie, okay, so we find an out to our combo next turn, which is going to be really good for us. Do I want to Greninja? I don't think I really need to. I want to conserve these energies. Giving them Training Court could potentially be bad if they do have the Hyper Potions. So I think I'm just fine with attaching here and just play Swell for knockout. And we'll see what my opponent does here. There's also a chance we just Marnie them to a pretty bad hand, which would be good for us. Let's see. Okay, there's Tower of Darkness. Another Pokegear, okay. They do whip the Pokegear though, and this is Tower of Darkness. They definitely should have used the Tower of Darkness before the Pokegear. They didn't have a supporter in their hand because that gives them a better chance actually drawing into supporter because they see more cards. But there's a research, never punished. Getting away the big Parasol. So not attaching the big Parasol would have actually prevented our paralysis play. This is a really big misplay for my opponent. I don't think there's really, unless you play Karen's Conviction, there's really no reason to not attach that Parasol, I don't think. There comes an energy onto the Groudon Fee, which means if we Roxanne it combination with Temple Sinnoh, it means they also can't heal the Groudon with the double turbo energies. Okay, so there's a Choice Belt, so it would make sense if they do have Karen's Conviction in their deck. I'll just see though. Okay, so we're gonna go up with this Drizzile, and now this is our big Wombo combo. Path not really doing anything for us in this matchup. They already used Starbirth. We'll just go ahead, evolve into Inteleon, and this is going to be the combo. We're gonna go for Skip Up Nets and Quick Ball, and everything's in the deck. We're all ready to go. We're gonna play this Quick Ball. Discard this because this is literally useless. Go for Articuno, and here is the play. Hopefully we can. Our idea is that if they don't have anything here, then we will have the ability to just knock it out next turn. So we're going to go with this. Form the discard. You can just attach here. Temple Sinnoh, and then we can just do it. I don't think that we really need to evolve this one, so we don't really need anything else this turn. But we can just go ahead and use this Fine Roxanne, and try and help us take this knockout onto this Groudon next turn if they do with a switching card, which should be really good for us. Okay, so we don't really want to play the Choice Belt because if they knock out the Articuno, they do get out of the paralysis, then we're going to be in a pretty bad spot. So I think we'll just go ahead and use Star Portal, accelerate some energies. We can actually evolve into Quick Shooting, which I do like to get some more damage in. Let's go ahead and use Star Portal, get 3 out, 2 going onto the Articuno for sure. Another one I think can go on this Drizzile, just because we can access to Aqua Bullet. Now the question is, we want to Quick Shooting the bench or the active. If we Quick Shooting the active, go up to 90, and then this turn, the 90, 110. And we're dealing right now 5, 6. We're doing 180. So I think I actually do want to Quick Shooting the active here. Or I could just go for the. I think it's safe to go for the active here. I can actually double paralyze here. I just realized. So if they don't find switch again, then that's when we're gonna be in a really good spot. So yeah, automatically paralyzed, 90 damage on them. Let's see what they do. Let's see if they find out this Roxanne. They can't use double turbo to heal this 90 damage. There's a Quick Ball that's not going to do anything for them unless they play Eldegoss. Oh wait, Powerful Color. So my mind instantly went to Lugia when I saw Powerful Colorless, but yeah, so no Eldegoss. There's Arceus V. Already used Starburst, so that's not really an out. They're just going to pass again. Alrighty. So now they didn't have this out, we can just Quick Shooting this, and this guy is going to be knocked out next turn for us, which is going to be huge. Yeah, I think we can just Ice Freeze again, or Wild Freeze again. Now we're obviously not going to be using Wild Freeze again, because then we would be knocked out, and that would be bad, but if we don't find it out again, let's see, yep, nothing again. Alright, that is probably going to wrap this game up. That was, just saw the full power of this deck. Now let's see, we're doing 180, so that is going to be knockout. We can just Quick Shooting this. Acorn is probably how we win this game, I'd imagine. Go ahead, play Irida. Like this. Is Equinhorn in the deck? It is not actually, so we're gonna have to actually try and take that off the prizes. But it's still, imagine it's gonna be pretty difficult for us to lose this game. Just gonna go with this in the Cross Switcher. Then we can just retreat into this, and I think we can just swing for a knockout here. 180 damage, exactly enough, or 10 damage above the amount we needed to take this game. There's Equinhorn. Our hand is just stacked. If our opponent doesn't draw Marnie, I think still that's fine. There's a Leon too. So we just have this game, I think, on board guaranteed. There's Palpad, but that's not a draw supporter for the turn. Let's see what my opponent does. Yep, GMX Revitalization. Okay, so that play did the job for us. If I'm not sure, this is going to be enough damage modifiers to just take the knockout onto an Arceus V in my opponent's discard pile. Yeah, they have 3 of them. Bring one of those guys out. Cross Switcher it. And this should be more than enough damage in combination with Quick Shooting, Leon, Choice Belt, all that good stuff. This will probably be knockout. I'm just going to play it all just because why not. So that's swell. And yep, that is going to be game. My opponent only took 3 prizes that game, and that really just showed off immediately the full power of the Articuno in the deck. We got essentially a free 140 damage onto that Duraludon VMAX, which gave us a lot of time to set up quick shooting, just establish our hand so we had the resources in our hand to just go for a Echoing Horn play to close off the game, as well as in addition to that free 140 damage from the Articuno. So yeah, Articuno really pulled its weight that game instantly, which is really cool to see. Get into another one here. All right. See, we got this game. We do win the coin flip. We're going first every single time with this deck. I literally don't think there's any matchup that you want to go second in. Palkia is just so commanding when it goes first. All right, let's see here. All right. Let's take a look at our hand. Got a Sobble, Palkia. Okay, this hand is really good, I think. And we have it's not really good, but it is at least half decent. We have Palkia, we have Energies, we have Irida, Scoop Up Nets. But we did mulligan twice. Okay, so our opponent has an Oranger. This could be Giratina, could be Palkia. I'm going to play this now. It's just thin out of our deck. We're just going to attach and then pass. I don't really have anything else to do. We did top deck Drizzile, which is a very good top deck. The rest of our hand is pretty much has everything we need for next turn. Okay, there's a VIP pass. For a second Oranger. Okay, so this is going to be Palkia Kyurem. Which I should have known because that's the main deck right now that plays Oranger, is Palkia Kyurem. So there's another VIP pass for double Kyurem, that makes sense. This matchup, we can either go for the Radiant Greninja plays in combination of the quick shooting to knock out Orangaroos. We can just go for double Radiant Greninja onto 2 VMAXs if our opponent does put 2 VMAXs into play, and then just finish off subspace filling those guys for game. But our opponent having good setup here, double VIP pass. They got almost everything, or not almost everything. They have everything they want to have in play. They give us Training Court, which is actually really good for us. We like to have Training Court access throughout the game. Now, we ourselves only play 1, but when our opponent gives it to us, that is even better. There's 2 more energies coming out of the deck. We could see a Rapid Freeze if my opponent has a switching out here. So we'll have to see about that. I don't know if they played a supporter already. Yes, so they played the Irida. Let's see if they're switching out to get off the Rapid Freeze. They have a really, I think they have a large amount of energy in hand. So yeah, there's a switch. But, however, that is a switch, which means that most Palkia Kyurems play only 1 switch, which means Articuno is an option for us now. Just almost guarantee a knockout onto any Pokemon we want throughout the game, which is going to be really, really strong for us. I think here we just want to take the knockout on Kyurem. We'd also try and go for this Palkia, but I don't think we really want to do that. I think we just want to take the 2 prizes on the active as well as setting up our board. Now we actually, wait, do we have no more Palkia Vs? Oh no, that's actually really, really bad. Yeah, that is very, very bad for us. No more Palkia Vs. Could potentially lose the game unless we can get off a sneaky Articuno play, which is I think what I'm actually going to have to go here and hope that I take a Palkia off these prizes here, because this is not ideal. So we're just going to go for this as well as Bucket. Quick Ball could guarantee us Articuno. I think I do like that. So we're just going to go with these. Draw a couple off Greninja. Ideally, we can get 3 in the discard here so that we can get full value off of the Star Portal this turn, because we know that our Palkia is most likely going down. So then we're going to have to rely on Articuno for a turn. Our opponent could attack us with Greninja as well. So I don't know if Manaphy is really worth it. Let's see here. I think this can just be another Capacious Bucket, honestly. Because we want to get more energies out. Okay, so we'll do this. Get out 2 more. This will discard 1, and we'll go ahead and find it on Articuno. Yep, Articuno. Bench that guy, and then we don't think we would have Star Portal 2, unfortunately. Not 3, but we'll take what we can get. Put 1 here. Attach return. Let's go ahead and net this. We have access to this next turn for sure, unless our opponent Marnie's us. Bench these guys. And subspace as well for 260. So okay, so we do find the Palkia V, which is a huge relief. We find the second one, that's even better. Okay, so we don't. We can still manage. Opponent does go for the Kyurem. They evolve into the VMAX, so we likely will be getting knocked out here. Let's see though. Yeah, this Articuno, just 2 games in theory. If this Articuno does win us this game, then this Articuno definitely carried its weight so far. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we are getting Marnied, which is a little bit unfortunate because our hand was very good. We get almost everything we want. Drizzile out and the Palkia V. Let's see. Okay, there's the energy, so we're knocked out. This hand, pretty bad, actually. Yeah, we can draw with Radiant Greninja, but other than that, this hand is really, really bad. We need to find an out off of this Greninja draw here. We don't. We still have a shot, but it's looking pretty grim. Okay, so there we are getting knocked out. My opponent does not establish another VMAX. That's actually good for us because then our Palkia can't be knocked out once we get that into play. Should be good for us. Okay, so our opponent taking their 2 prizes. We're going up with this Articuno. What do we find? Nothing. So we're just going to shuffle this. Shuffle our cards that we had on the bottom of the deck because of the Marnie into the deck now. Concealed cards. Hope we find something. What do we get? Irida. Okay, that'll do it. So yeah, we'll just play this. Go ahead, find Palkia for sure. And we can just go for Incense and find the Inteleon, or find the Drizzile, or actually Level Ball would be better then. So we can save those instances for later. And I think what we do now is we have the other Scuba Net in the deck, so we can try and limit my opponent's damage output. We do. Let's go for these. Yep, and then bench this, Big Charm it, attach Training Court, because why not? We do have a lot of energy in there. Go ahead and grab this ball. This can just grab an Incense for next turn. Then we'll do Wild Freeze. I hope my opponent doesn't play the 3 switch, or the 2 switch, and if they do, then GG's, I guess. Okay, 70 damage, hurting ourselves just fine. They get paralyzed. Let's see what they got. Yeah, paralysis is pretty good in this format when most decks play 0 to 1 switches. Now, they could have Air Balloon, but Air Balloon doesn't matter because they can't retreat a paralyzed Pokemon. Escape Rope is bad, though. That is not good. I did not expect that. I did not calculate for this. Do we need Manaphy? No, I don't think so. We can just beat the Manaphy. They go up with their Palkia. If they do have Boss here, I think we just lose. If they have at least Boss basic Pokemon, then they can knock out our Palkia. I still think we just lose the game because then we actually have no way to take a prize card from that point to get the other Palkia V out of our prizes. There's the Guru. Putting the water on top, most likely to use the Glaciated World. Yep, there's Glaciated World, and there's a water. Going on with the Palkia, and if they have Boss here, that is pretty unfortunate for us. Let's see, though. Boss, yep, okay, let's see, though. So they have another basic. If they don't have another basic, that it's not knockout because of the Big Charm. So I'll have to see. There's a second Guru. Did they find a basic? Let's see. Basic or no basic? Well, they could actually just retreat and then Star Portal onto the Kyurem as well. If they want to guarantee themselves a knockout. Let's see if they actually see that line. Okay, they don't. They actually don't get the knockout out. So that is, once again, really, really big for us. So now I think we have to knock out this we can knock out the Kyurem. We can actually knock out the Kyurem. Do we have knockout? 260. We actually don't have knockout yet on the Kyurem. We could just retreat and then paralyze them again. Paralyze this Palkia. I don't hate that. No, I think we have to knock out this. Then we have to knock this out. So do they have any basic to discover how? They have a Kyurem V. So I think we have to knock this out. But we can start off with the concealed cards because we have the reassurances of this training court. Let's see. So we'll just use the training court. Yep. And then we'll Irida for this switcher. Do we have Cupid in the deck? We do. We have enough water energy? We do. Yeah, I think we'll just go for this. We have incense. Okay, we do. I'm just trying to really calculate everything here. We have. Oh wait, do we have Echo Horn? Okay, we do have Echo Horn. Okay, so go for this. And this will find double Cross Switcher. But this will find Cross Switcher and Scuba Nets. Cross Switcher, Scuba Nets. Scuba Nets. Okay, then we'll Incense, and this will find Palkia VSTAR. We'll attach double Cross Switcher with this. Go into this, Scuba Nets, this, Palkia, bench this, and then Drizzile. This will find Echoing Horn to boost our damage. So just enough to knock this out. And then our plan from here is if they knock out this Palkia, then we paralyze them, whatever their attacker is, for another turn, and they likely don't have another switch, which means we have enough turns to establish 2 energy onto an Inteleon to Cross Switcher for a game. Or just for another Palkia, to establish another Palkia if we get the Palkia off the prizes. We have nothing else to do other than just take the knockout here. And see if this play will see us through this game. Let's see what we find. We find Drizzile, which is not bad, but definitely not needed. The second Cross Switcher could have been catastrophic. And another Palkia, which is going to help us a lot. Let's see what my opponent does here. They go with the Kyurem. Okay. So they might be cooking something here. Let's see. Okay, Kyurem VMAX. Which doesn't really matter anymore because this Palkia got a hit. I would have been scared of this if they could have just came in and just clean one-shotted my Palkia after I established it from taking it off the prize cards. Water energy coming back, that makes sense, and a Ninja'd away. If they Marnie us here, and as long as we draw it out, I think we win the game for sure. Bumping this could also be a little bit annoying, but I think we can get around that. Here comes the Kyurem, getting some energies. From the Star Portal. Okay, we are getting Roxanne, which we still have 1 turn of paralysis that they probably won't be able to get out of, so we have that to fall back on at least, and we do find a Drizzile, which is good. Okay, there's Choice Belts. Energy, which doesn't really matter that much. Okay, there's Primate Wisdom. Okay, then Max Frost, which is just going to be doing 120 because they don't need to discard anything. I think we can actually get our own Roxanne off of this Drizzile here. You can go up this Articuno. I think this can actually find our own Roxanne. I don't hate that. Let's just go with this. Yes, we'll go with Roxanne. Inteleon. Do we have both the Cross Switchers? Yes. Okay, so let's do this. We want to bench this. I don't think it really matters too. Actually, no, it does matter. So we want, if we miss something, we still want to have access to Melanie and attach VSTAR to our Palkia V if we do find that. So I think we'll just play this here. We don't need to play the Sobble down. We'll see what we get. What do we find? Double Cross Switcher. Okay, this hand's not bad, but it's not great either. I think we'll just play this. This will find Palkia V, so it can actually turn kind of like a draw card because there's a Melon in your hand, but we'll use this now. And then we can attach this to Drizzile and paralyze them. Attach this. Or we could just attach it here. Well, that's a little bit of a more risky play. I think we have the other Palkia VSTAR in the deck. I'm like 90% sure we have the other Palkia VSTAR in the deck. Ooh, this is tough. What do we want to bank on? I think it's fine to attach it here and then paralyze them. Alright. Alright, now we just hope and pray that for they some reason play a third switching card, then, you know, if they play a third switching card, then GG's, they deserve to win if they play 3 switching cards in their Palkia Kyurem deck. Let's see what they find. They do have access to a couple of Primate Wisdoms and concealed cards, which is fine. We really just wanted to limit them as much as possible here. There's their Radiant Greninja. Now, this still can be a little bit dicey for us. We actually can't knock them out with an Origin Form Palkia VSTAR yet. Even without Gus, we still can't actually knock out the Kyurem because they don't have the 5th bench Pokemon to do the 260 plus 70 is 330 math that we did last time on the other Kyurem VMAX. Here comes a couple Primate Wisdoms. There's the bucket. We're really just hoping and praying that they do not have third switching out. Let's see. What do you got, opponent? Do you have anything? Anything at all? Actually, we can just paralyze them again. We will get our Articuno knocked out, but if they're not knocking us out anyway, it actually doesn't matter. So we actually have another turn. If we actually find literally 0 cards out this moment, like literally nothing that can help us in the moment. And third energy on a Palkia, which doesn't do much. It's cutting Melanie. Opponent really taking their time here. Finds Crobat, which is going to be that 6th benched. But it looks like they're not discarding it here. So they are drawing the full 6. They're digging pretty hard, which makes me think that they might have the answer in their deck still, which would be unfortunate. Let's see. We've got opponent. Your active Pokemon is still very paralyzed. Nothing is changing. Your Pokemon will become magically unparalyzed. Unless the game is bugged, and then I'll report the bug. There's Irida. Let's see, does this find the switch card? Oh my god, no way. Dude, they had it. That's so funny. They had it the whole time, but we still have the option to win. We can still cross switcher this if we find out their basic. We still have the option. We can still win. But it is funny that they had the card. Okay, so we're just gonna Melanie, or we could Radiant Greninja first. I think it's probably better to do that. Just Radiant Greninja first. We still have access to Melanie. Okay, we'll do that. What do we find? Any form of cross switcher Irida. It's not it yet. Wait, is Irida it? I don't know if we have the buckets or the energy in the deck. Let's get a little bit dicey here. A little bit dicey. Do I win the game? No, I don't. I really need power. I just need to hope and pray that I find something off of this. And I find the instance. Okay. So that has, if long I have the other instance in the deck, that's going to be game. Oh no, I don't. This is bad. This is very, very bad. I think I lose now. Oof, do I lose? Ooh, let's see. Do I lose? Question mark. Do I just go with that and hope they can't do it? I think I just have to go here. Go for this. And this finds another cross switcher, and then I have to cross switch the Rangaroo and hope that they actually can't move it again. And if they somehow move their Rangaroo, somehow, then, you know, that's all well and good. Okay, so we will double cross switcher this guy. Go here. We can evolve into quick shooting. I think it's fine. Yeah, maybe we can just quick shooting like this, like this. Limit them. Go path. That's probably fine. And I think we just pass. Rule the region, I guess. We don't have any Sanderson deck, but rule the region. What you got, opponent? Do you have the last switching out? If you don't, then I win. Let's see. Lost vacuum, that's fine. It's not a switch. Getting rid of the path. Alrighty. What you got? Do you have it, opponent? Do you have it? It's been quite the game so far. I'm down to 14 minutes on the clock. My opponent's down to 15 minutes. Okay, there's a Melanie that doesn't go to V, or not V Pokemon. Training Court again, coming back. Which basically for them is just saying, I'm going to win this turn or I'm not going to win at all, which makes sense. That's probably what's going to happen. What was going to happen anyway. There's Glaciated World, discarding VIP Pass, not it. Ninja coming down. They're digging hard. Do they have 4 switch out? They have the balloon. No, I knew it. Oh, that's so unfortunate, man. Well, GG's to my opponent. That was a very, very good game. That was so close so many times. GG. Dang. Alright. Oh well. I think I did misplay the game. I think I should have powered up the Inteleon potentially instead, maybe, because then I wouldn't have needed the 2 incense to win the game there. That was a very, very good game. I still had a very, very good shot, even though I prized 2 Palkia Vs against a deck that just one-shots things, and I still had a chance because of that Articuno. And I think just playing off those 2 games, like, that really convinces me that this Articuno is really worth in the deck. This really pulled it weight. I'm really surprised, honestly, how good this card was. But yeah, Articuno MVP, Palkia. Let's see how this all pans out. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video, guys. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.